Hello, Mirek. We have an exciting development to talk about, don't we? It's called Concierge and it's a new feature for KYP.ai. Please, can you tell me about it? What is it?
Hello, Sarah. Then in the nutshell, it's the assistant which allows you to answer, benchmark, analyze, and behave like a business analyst, although about any metrics, data, KPIs, which KYP is right now delivering to you. As an example, let me use the one element. Let's say you analyze the productivity measure for certain group of people or certain company. Then you may ask the concierge to analyze this data for you, produce the meaningful suggestions, benchmarking according to the market measures, and get some suggestions which you could or wish to focus first. It's more like a concierge discussion, what you could do with the data, not only pure analysis, statical. You may continue forever debating with concierge. What do you think about this element, this data? What's unique about it? It's also interpretation of the data from your real environment, not just the blueprint or statistical measures or the white paper stories. That's as a concierge, it gives you full blueprint around what your company operates or how your company operates or what's your main pain points observed, of course, in your data.
That is amazing. Sounds absolutely amazing. And if we take a sort of bird's eye view of the enterprise, what kind of programs or requirements do you think it'll address?
Definitely, we can split it into a few categories. Number one would be the people dimension about the productivity, work-life balance, what the employee should do to avoid the burnout, and everything what's related, let's say, to people dimension in the sense of doing good, be more productive. Doesn't mean work more, is more like how to work more efficiently. That includes any spots in the data. You may as well analyze the entire team. Let's say on average, the team is, let's say, overworking after 6 p.m. They're still available and it's not productive or efficient or good for health. Or opposite way, there may be some patterns of work observed, and this concierge will hint you about that too. What's underlying about that, I haven't said too much, is the large language model, which helps you to interpret the data. That it's not statical analysis or semantic understanding only of the data, but also statistical analysis. That's why the name concierge is not just regular LLM or regular chat capability. Is the chat with the statistical analysis. That's why the concierge element. And it's available also in the on-prem version and in the cloud. That once you may be concerned about the data privacy, don't worry, equally you can use it for your own secure and restricted environment without any connection to the internet, as well as connecting to the internet API of our concierge. Going further, I said about the people dimension, there is a technology dimension. All the data which we are right now collecting, let's say for license landscape optimization or transformation, or about the hardware performance, is it my hardware good enough to serve my duties? Let's say you have an overloaded CPU or delays or latency on API. This is also a subject for concierge to analyze and say, on average, companies in this market having, let's say, 80% CPU utilization, it is normal, although it doesn't help to execute what should be done on time. Or opposite way, you may say, yes, this market is over or not over underutilize the machines. And because of that, you may consider some less investment in the hardware, maybe more in the software, because there's a latency there, as an example. And the third dimension is purely about processes, and there's many things to focus there, starting from candidates for transformation, going towards the analysis. Is it your process smooth and optimal? How the application of a certain automation technologies may be applied. And continuing towards that, it's Concierge also for AI. You may ask Concierge what's the best activities or processes or elements in the process graph to be automated or supported by Gen AI. I know it sounds like more Gen AI for Gen AI, but that's the true and the beauty that it can self-improve the adoption of Gen AI with the technology, which is actually the same underlying on the server side.
So you've said the magic words there, Gen AI, LLMs. You've also talked about the incredible capabilities that it brings to achieve our objectives of helping our clients with processes, the people dimensions, as well as the technology. So going back to Gen AI, there's an awful lot of interest in adopting Copilot and other similar Gen AI capabilities. Tell me about how this fits in the bigger picture of adoption of those technologies, please.
Generally speaking, Copilot is a category of Gen AI. It makes a lot of interest on the market. The adoption increases every week. We hear that some companies are making the investment in that area. They are wondering where to apply, who should get the Copilot, what should be the top 3-5 things to focus on with Copilot, as an example. That's the beautiful thing, because KYP with the platform capability and as well with Concierge may help you to drive this decision-making process. Why or how? As you know, Microsoft Viva can deliver certain metrics where to apply, but it's based only on statistical analysis or paper research. The Viva gives you this asterisk in every number and says, based on 3 emails or 5 calls, we think that it's going to be X% saved because you had it in the count of 5 or 10 or 20. What's KYP differentiate here? Most of the things are moved into the scientific measure. We say your 5 emails took you to write, let's say, 55 minutes. And based on that is a real measure in your real process, in your real environment, how much you can save. Let me take an example. I write rather short email, in, I don't know, 30 seconds. Then maybe accountant or someone who is resolving the case for customer needs half an hour, because email needs to be half a page or 2-pager because of the nature of the problem. That statistically speaking, you can't say it's great, let's give Copilot to everyone, and equally there will be amazing result for Mirek or that other person. One will benefit more, the other less. Of course, the complexity raise the gain, more complexity, bigger gain. And that's actually the beauty of KYP. We measure how many times you enter in the spot of Copilot use case. Like I said, it may be help to write an email, summarize the meeting, maybe create some PowerPoint, maybe do the adjustment in the PowerPoint layout. And then the measure gives you the full picture and full feeling and analysis where it should be applied. Why it's important on the end, final return of investment for Copilot thing may be the one. Let's say your organization have 1,000 people, and eligibility for Copilot by Viva, they say usually 80%. But again, blueprint statistical measure from generic population. It may be equally 100% for your organization or only 20. And how you will spend this money, it's important that money to pay the license for Copilot may be applicable only for 20%, but this 20% will improve the productivity by 50% or maybe 80%. And that's the best use. If someone, and especially in the areas which don't require too much work on the cognitive part of email writing and so on, you may not save so much. That's why that will be overspent, and let's say you can invest this money somewhere else, making your company more efficient by optimizing the spend on the Copilot. That's number one. And number two, Copilot as a technology is not the only one which we suggest by our recommendation and finding and transformation opportunities. Why? They are comparable technologies like Google Duet, or some smaller companies are offering the targeted Copilot, like things like even Microsoft have Copilot for sales, Copilot for other professions and domains. And KYP engine may tell you where is the sweet spot for those technologies.
That really is science fiction become real.
Kind of, yes.
Yes, yes. Is it generally available?
Yes, that we started the beta program with selected customers, and right now there is a extensive phase of testing. Of course, fuzziness of the concierge and the identification engine happens. The general availability in the software release will happen in the next quarter. Beginning of the quarter, we start to publish this fully tested and proven version for more than a few customers. Of course, we need to prove it. That's why we are humble and not rolling out this to every customer. But what's most important, this GA doesn't impact any current or present deployments. Why? The code base and the set of data to use to interpret and do the concierge or identification will remain the same. This is treated as a pure extension. That's number one thing. And number two, what's most important, if the customer will decide to stay on-prem as they sometimes do currently, you may say, fine, you need another server, of course, with a capability of GPU to make the LLM interpreted on-site, not going to the public API. That's a relatively small investment from companies, but it doesn't require to any changes in the current infrastructure of KYP. It's more like extension. You may say it's appliance type of thing. You add it on top of what you currently have. Obviously, for those who are already participating, we have a very good feedback how they feel about the data, and there's an enormous amount of feedback. There is no limit how you can continue with interpretation. You may find even the connection or interpretation, how this optimization may correlate the business function with the weather. Why not to ask many angles, many ideas, many things to try.
So you've answered my next question, which was about backward compatibility with existing clients. So it's, they don't need to change anything. This is an extension, and you recommend additional GPU capabilities, but no software upgrade is required.
Yep, I mean, from software side, of course, the server module will be added, but no upgrade in the sense of entire landscape has to be upgraded. This agent side who collects the data will remain the same. The server side in the scope of the data analysis, collection, aggregation, and so on remain the same. There will be additional module loaded to the server. That's true. From a backward compatibility, of course, as long the release is up to date, there is no worry or necessity. Obviously, if the instance or the installation is old more than 1 year, it should be upgraded from few reasons, not only from the concierge and GenAI capability perspective, but also from the upgrading the capability to collect more and better data as we equip ourselves with more mechanism to collect more granular data or making it less intrusive to the hardware infrastructure. But backward compatibility exists. For those who are up to date, no worries, you can continue and add this module to your landscape.
That's excellent. I'm sure our customers will welcome that. You mentioned that you've been trialing it with, early release with some clients. Is there anything you can share in terms of use cases, case studies, any outcomes?
Yep. I would touch 2 or 3 things maybe to make it more crisp. One definitely would be about this Copilot identification engine. We see, or what was the statement from that trial? There is a big discrepancy between the research element and research how statistically you should gain or lose by introducing the Copilot. Very big discrepancies or diversity among the team, among the company. Let's say, and let me give you one example from the customer side. You have the procurement team, and the team contains of 8 people. There were 2 person, let's say, gaining or possible gain on the Copilot like 80%. For so that 50% applicability because some actions were made out of the Copilot influence scope, and the rest remains. I would say even please do not invest in that because it's gonna be only money loss. It's really nature of the work drives the efficiency gained by Copilot. More you contact with customers, with partners, with contractors, you need to analyze longer documents. That drives the better applicability of Copilot, but there is no rule that you may say, great, I'm doing a lot of emails, long emails, and that's fine. Maybe that's not the case because the Copilot applies also to the selected domains, can drive the conclusions, let's say, or support why you have 100 words already written and so on. But it doesn't mean you will always gain because you have a lot of text and a lot of semantic analysis, who wrote to you and what you should reply to. That would be one dimension, that big diversity, and jumping to another industry, the picture changes completely. Let's say one of our customers from the contact center area, they to the contrast of the, let's say, procurement or this finance team, made another discovery. Contact center people may benefit much more, but again, the nature of interaction matters. If there is a selected elements from HR, finance, supply chain area, definitely yes. More niche elements, more unusual stuff done by employees, less gain you may expect. But there's an exception. You have to measure that. You can't say just by looking on the title, topic, or domain, yeah, this people will get big gain, or the efficiency will increase because I deploy Copilot. This statement without the credible measures and the digital core, how we name it, is irrelevant, and I wouldn't bet on that. And the second element with the concierge, here, what's the feedback or observation? a lot of work, a lot of pressure, time, and effort usually spent to initially analyze the data. KYP gives you the tremendous amount of data to analyze. You see the usage matrix, you see the variance graphs, candidates to automation, to transformation. There is tons of data to review, and Concierge may help you to do that without big effort. It's actually like you will hire the non-expert, but I would say average analyst to do this initial data analysis and tell you 5, 10, 20 facts about it, and continue to deep dive. Simply speaking, when you need to create the initial presentation or the focus or the plan to execute, Concierge help them to make it really fast without special effort, because it's just a chat like with an expert on the second side, and you get the data. Data are also trusted in the sense of there is a statistical relevance in the data. As we know, the fuzziness of LLM, hallucinations, and so on makes a little uncertainty in that discussion. Here there is no doubt, because we rely on the real data, that when Concierge says it's 107 minutes to be saved because of, it's 107 minutes because it comes from the data set which was collected on the real user desktop. That would be the two things. And of course, the third one, the concerns around the public or private domain of LLMs is no longer valid, at least in the KYP case, because we can deliver you our LLM trained with the data from the KYP, that the domain of the process people and technology remains unchanged. And next to it, you may ask about the basic or elementary questions. What's the difference between passive and active time? What's the productive time definition, and so on and so on. That you may reflect on the data, you may do the benchmark and estimation, but everything will stay in your data set, in your management, under your management. And I think security and compliance colleagues will love it, because there is no problem with leaking the data out or staying outside of the comfort zone.
That is incredible. Thank you so much, Mirek, for sharing the news of Concierge. Look forward to the full release and getting customer feedback as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sarah, and enjoy the day.
Thank you.